Hey y'all, what's going on? It's time for Tarot Tuesday, and I am not in the frame. You're not imagining things. You are just hearing a disembodied voice and seeing a shadow. But also, you're going to be seeing the cards right here. So this is how I'm going to show you the reading this week, simply because I don't feel like being in the frame today, but I still wanted to get this done. So before we get into this week's reading, I just wanted to say that last week's reading really helped me. It really helped me to keep thinking, how can I be the best version of myself right now? That really helped me personally, so I hope that it also helped some of you out there. And I will say it did work 95% of the time. 95% of the time, it did motivate me to act differently. So it really worked, and I'm going to keep using that on myself. How do I be the best version of myself? Okay? But this week, we have a different message. And it's funny because I feel like it directly relates to me, so I hope that this is also relevant to you all out there. But I'm just feeling tired. And now for me personally, I know it's because I'm on my time of the month, my period, if you will, which is always straining and sometimes causes me to feel like I'm depressed, and then I'm like catastrophizing and being like, oh, I'm depressed because of this, I'm sad because of this, and then really I'm like, oh, no, I just started my period. So scratch all that I just dug up from the depths of my memory and brain, and it's really just that I'm on my period, you know? So I'm feeling drained this week, today, should I say. So this message seems like it applies. So first card that we have for this week is the Ace of Swords. Now the Ace of Swords is all about new ideas, new, fresh energy. It's about new beginnings. And more than anything, swords have to do with communication, and they have to do with thoughts and your mindset. So, that being said, how can you start a new beginning with the thoughts that you have? How can you give life to new ideas? How can you give life to new ways of thinking? How can you communicate ideas and everything that you have to communicate in a new way? So it's time to do things differently. It's time to have a new approach and a fresh start in some area of your life related to communication, ideas, and the way that you think. For me personally, I'm thinking about this in a way of, how can I really start practicing having more positive thoughts? Because lately they've been very negative. I've been really down. So it's like, how can I put a lot of energy and focus into having positive thoughts and ground myself in that? And also, communicate effectively, right? Communicate effectively and let a bitch know too. Like, swords can be sharp. Sometimes you just gotta draw lines in the sand, create your boundaries, maybe even create boundaries with yourself. Like, what will you not tolerate in yourself anymore? What do you need to stop and what do you need to start? So, time to draw lines in the sand, time to communicate effectively, and time to start bringing your ideas to life or thinking in a new way. So that's the first card of the week. Then we also have the Four of Swords, which honestly feels just a tad bit conflicting to me, because, Ace is like new energy, and Four is very established energy. But you know what? Actually, come to think of it, it actually does make sense. So what patterns or what habits, patterns, thought forms, ways of living do you have that need to be cut out? Like, here's somebody who's relaxed, and usually Four of Swords means you need a break, and maybe you do need a break. And if you do, figure out how can you just give yourself a break this week, cut yourself some slack where you need to cut yourself slack, but at the same time, come in with this fresh energy to cut out any lazy behavior or any negative behavior in yourself or people around you that aren't going to serve you anymore, right? So you have to find that balance. With everything, there's a balance. On one hand, maybe you need to cut yourself some slack. Cut yourself some slack, because maybe your bad behavior is that you beat up on yourself all the time. You're too hard on yourself. So yeah, maybe you do need to chill. Maybe you do need to cut yourself some slack, and maybe that's the new positive behavior and thought pattern that you need to develop, right? But other than that, like, if you find yourself wanting to make a change, but you're like, oh, I'll do it later, I'm tired, I'm lazy. No, you need to start cutting that out, because tomorrow really never comes. It's only now. So we need to start now. That being said, it is important to remember that you do still need to be kind to yourself. So if you are truly going through a difficult time in some sort of way, be easy with yourself. Like, don't expect yourself to, stick to some workout regimen, for example, if you're going through a extremely difficult time personally. So that's just an example, but you know your own self. So think about that. Like, in what ways do you need to be kind to yourself? In which ways do you need to cut yourself some slack and just chill in your life? And in what ways and what new things do you need to start? How do you bring some more positivity to your life and communicate more effectively with others the things that you're feeling and thinking? Then we have 2 8s. So the first one is the 8 of Wands, which means, hey, success is yours. Like, the things that you're wanting, the direction that you're wanting to go in, the things you're wanting to accomplish, places you're wanting to travel to, it's here for you. It's in the cards for you, So just find comfort in that. Find comfort in that. The things that you're wanting, you just have to keep going in the direction that you're going. The problem that you're having, why you feel like it's not there for you, simply is negative thoughts in your mind. So the only thing keeping you from what you really want is your own negative thinking and your own negative thoughts. And this isn't just as simple as saying like, oh, it's coming to me, but it's just that I don't think that it is and I don't feel like it is, and that's the only problem. No, you can literally be blocking out the thing that you want in your life with your negative thinking, with your self-doubt, with your insecurity, with your always focusing on what you don't have instead of what you do have. So what you want, the goals that you have for yourself, the things you want to experience and do and become and create are there for you, but you could be blocking them out by focusing on what's not working instead of giving thanks for what you have and what is working. Because yeah, it sounds dumb. It sounds like, how is that going to make a difference in my life? But trust me, it will, because you're going to act differently. You're going to see things from a different perspective. You're going to see all the opportunities in front of you instead of focusing on this. Looking down, being blindfolded by what you believe is missing in your life, and just constantly being negative and constantly focusing on what you don't have, definitely can change the outcome of your life, because you're not looking out for the opportunity. You're not making that next move. You know what I mean? So it's time to bring this sort of positivity into your life, chill, but also cut out bad habits, including and especially your negative thinking, your insecurity, your negative thoughts about yourself, but also just any negative thoughts you have about the circumstances surrounding you, period. You need to let this go because it's blocking you from everything that's ahead of you. A beautiful, bright path is in front of you. You just need to turn around and see it. Pretty much. And it's easier said than done, right? So how are we going to get to that this week? Well, what you need some time to your damn self, okay? And what I mean by this, and spending time by yourself wallowing in your misery is not going to help you. It's only going to make things worse. But you need to go on an internal journey and fix your thoughts. You need to fix your thinking this week. Bad stuff happens in this world. Obviously, we've been seeing that a lot lately. But that doesn't mean you have to focus on that. That doesn't mean you have to see the world as a negative place. As hard as it is, try to focus on the positive. Try to focus on the positive. And this isn't just some, woo-woo nonsense that if you just focus on the positive, the world will get better. No, but you will feel better. And therefore, you will be able to do more. You'll be able to experience more. Your life will be better because you're focusing on what's possible, what's good, your power, where you do have power, and again, it's not to ignore the bad things that are happening, but you don't have to be inundated by them and drowning in it like this. Do you know what I mean? You still have to find a way to look at the bright side. You still have to find a way to allow yourself to smile and feel fulfilled and feel hopeful and feel that this path is here for you, So how do you do that? Again, going deep. Digging deep inside into your internal world, The Hermit is all about self-discovery, going within yourself, going within your own mind, connecting to you. You've got to connect to yourself. Connect to that part of you that, you know, makes life worth living. You've got to connect to that part of you that can tune into fun and tune into joy and tune into all of the good things that are inside of you, all of the good things that you want in life. It's here. The Six of Swords is about moving forward in a positive direction, turning away from the things that bring you down, turning away from the things that make you feel bad, and moving forward with positive thoughts and a positive energy and attitude. So in order to do that, you really need to connect with yourself, have like a one-on-one heart-to-heart with yourself and think, okay, what are the negative thoughts that I think? What are the negative things I believe? What are the bad habits that I have that are holding me back in life and actually literally making me miserable, making me like this? You know, what are they? Once I identify them, I can figure out thoughts that can replace them. So, you know, whether it's that you believe that nothing ever works out for me, that's a limiting belief, and it's not true. Even if you have evidence to show you that it's true, believing that will only attract more experiences like that, because it's like you only see what you're looking for. You know what I mean? If you take a look around the room and look for the color red, right? And then close your eyes. Now try to think of everything in the room that was green. Well, you really weren't looking out for the green, you were looking out for red. But if you open your eyes and then look for green, you might find a lot of green. So it's the same thing with focusing negatively and focusing positively. Yeah, okay, maybe all these bad things happen, maybe all these negative things happen, maybe you feel trapped and you feel stuck, but you're only stuck by your own thoughts. That's what the swords stand for here, your own thinking. So what are the positive things in your life? What are the positive things that you have going for you? What are the opportunities? Think about that and start taking action on those things. It's not enough to just say, okay, yeah, I've got these positive things going for me. Great, because you'll forget about it right away, because your habit and your pattern is this, right? And you need to make this a habit and a pattern, and that's going to take time. So every day this week, take some time to yourself to intentionally think good thoughts. And good thoughts are imagining best possible outcomes, imagining good outcomes, imagining yourself happy, imagining other people happy, looking for the opportunities, thinking things that literally make you feel excited. Think about things that make you feel excited and let that energy fill you. Trust me, it will be a night and day difference between whether you take actions towards actually fulfilling your goals and getting closer to them or not. So try to fill yourself with that excited energy. What makes you excited? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel fulfilled? Think about that. And you know, you're gonna have to learn to fight your brain, because you're gonna think, oh yeah, this is exciting. If I could do this, well, for me, I always think about creative projects, right? And so let's say like I could think like, oh, I could collaborate with this person and that would be fun. And then my brain would come in with like, oh, well, why would you do that? Or who has time for that? Or just any negative thing. You're going to have to learn to just swipe it away like a fly. Swipe it away like, no, get out of here. Let me enjoy my fantasy. Let me enjoy my positive daydream. Because really what we do with our negative thoughts is negative daydreaming. But we need to remember and relearn how to daydream positively. Allow yourself to imagine the best possible outcome. Allow yourself to imagine things going the way you want and feel the emotions behind what it would be like if things went that way. That's going to be a game changer this week. And that's the practice that we all need to start making a regular habit in our lives, because it's a game changer. It's a game changer to have a positive and exciting framework versus like an insecure, scared, depressed baseline patterns of thought. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're just gonna pull one card from the magical spell cards deck and see what messages lie ahead for us this week. What should we be focusing on this week? And here you go. Good cheer. With a kind heart and humor free, may good cheer rule, so mote it be. That's just like a little spell. But yeah, good cheer. Focus on good cheer. Focus on being happy, being joyful. And I know it's not always easy. So if you've got to be alone to tune into that part of you, to tune into that part of your mind and those types of thoughts and feelings, do it. But you can't just sit alone and be here, because that's not going to help you. You've got to tune into good cheer somehow and let this become a habit. So that's what the powers that be say we should be focused on this week. And yeah, I don't think that's bad advice. I think that's good advice for anybody, regardless of what your situation is. And I know some people's situations are extraordinarily challenging and extraordinarily hard, but it doesn't mean that these things aren't possible. You know, we can always look for excuses as to why, or reasons why. Well, it's harder for me. Or like we can look at someone else and say, easy for you to say, you know, but that's not going to help you. You know what that is? You know what those types of thoughts are? That's this. That's just you looking for reasons to be stuck. That's just you staying right here in this dark place that is not going to serve you in your life, because who the hell wants to live their place? Who the hell wants to live their life from a sad, depressed, dark place? It's not fun. Speaking from experience, it's not fun. So that's the message of the week, y'all. I'm sending you love, and I will see you again very soon.